Amelia watched the faded facade of the old house by the sea, its dusty windows reflecting the soft glow of the setting sun. At 65, she never imagined she would be there, about to embark on a new adventure. Her grey hair danced with the sea breeze as she firmly held the keys in her wrinkled hands. The decision to buy this abandoned house had surprised everyone in the small coastal town. For years, the property had remained vacant, the subject of rumours and legends. But for Amelia, it represented a chance for a fresh start, an escape from the loneliness that had consumed her since the death of her husband Robert 15 years ago. Born and raised in the bustling capital, Amelia had always dreamed of a quieter life. A retired history teacher, she nurtured a deep love for the past and the stories that old objects could tell. Her passion for antiques and restoration was evident in every corner of her old apartment in the city. Now, standing in front of this majestic yet decaying house, Amelia felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. The deckboards creaked under her feet as she approached the front door. With a deep breath, she inserted the key into the rusty lock. The interior of the house was a silent testament to years of abandonment. Layers of dust covered the antique furniture, and cobwebs decorated the corners of the rooms. But Amelia saw beyond the decay. She saw the hidden potential in the peeling walls and stained floors. As she walked through the rooms, Amelia imagined what the house might have been like in its glory days. The large windows, now dirty and opaque, must have once framed stunning views of the ocean. The spacious living room with its stone fireplace certainly had been the stage for lively gatherings and warm conversations. Upstairs, Amelia found several bedrooms, each silently telling the stories of past lives. The master bedroom, with its balcony facing the sea, immediately captured her heart. She imagined herself waking up every morning to the sound of the waves and the smell of the sea air. Descending the stairs, Amelia explored the kitchen. Despite years of neglect, it was still possible to see traces of a time when elaborate meals were prepared there. The wood stove, though covered in rust, looked ready to be lit again. Exhausted but excited, Amelia sat on the steps of the back porch, watching the sun set over the ocean. For the first time in years, she felt a spark of hope ignite in her chest. This house, with all its history and mysteries, would be her new beginning. In the days that followed, Amelia threw herself into the task of restoring the house. Armed with buckets, cloths, and unwavering determination, she began to clean away years of neglect. Each room presented a new challenge, but also a new discovery. It was while cleaning the attic that Amelia made her first intriguing discovery. Hidden behind an old dresser, she found a carved wooden box. Inside, there was a collection of letters yellowed with age, all carefully tied with a faded ribbon. With her heart racing, Amelia opened the first letter. The elegant handwriting told the story of a forbidden love between two young people from different social classes. The words overflowed with passion and anguish, speaking of secret meetings and dreams of a future together. Intrigued by her discovery, Amelia decided she needed help to restore some of the more damaged parts of the house. That's how she met Jack, a local man in his 50s, known for his skill in carpentry and restoration. Jack was an interesting figure. Tall and broad-shouldered, he had deep blue eyes that seemed to carry the weight of many untold stories. His calloused hands spoke of years of hard work, and his sun-marked face told the story of a life lived outdoors. When Jack arrived to assess the work to be done, Amelia felt an instant connection. There was something about his calm and confident presence that made her feel at ease. As they discussed the details of the restoration, Amelia couldn't help but notice how Jack's eyes lit up when talking about preserving the history of the house. "This house has so many stories to tell," said Jack, running his hand along the stair railing. "It's a privilege to be able to help bring it back to life." Amelia eagerly agreed. "I just made a fascinating discovery in the attic," she shared, telling Jack about the love letters. Jack's eyes sparkled with interest. "You know, my grandmother used to tell stories about a couple who lived here many years ago. She said it was an impossible love that ended in tragedy." Jack's words further sparked Amelia's curiosity. Together they began to investigate the history of the house, delving into city archives and talking with the oldest residents. As Amelia and Jack worked on the restoration, they developed a close friendship. She appreciated his practical wisdom and his deep knowledge of local history. Jack, in turn, admired Amelia's adventurous spirit and her passion for historical preservation. Weeks turned into months, and the house began to come to life again. The walls were repainted, the floors restored, and the cleaned windows let in sunlight and the sea breeze. Amelia filled the rooms with carefully selected furniture, a mix of restored antique pieces and new acquisitions that harmonized with the style of the house. As the house was reborn, Amelia felt that she herself was undergoing a transformation. The loneliness that had accompanied her for so many years began to dissipate. She befriended the neighbours, participated in community events, and for the first time in a long while, felt part of something bigger. One afternoon, while they were working together in the house's library, Jack shared a bit of his own story with Amelia. He spoke about his failed marriage, the son he rarely saw, and the years he spent battling depression. "Sometimes I think I'll never be able to trust anyone enough again," confessed Jack, his voice laden with emotion. Amelia felt her heart clench at Jack's words. She deeply understood that feeling, having gone through her own journey of grief and loneliness after Robert's death. "I used to think the same," she said softly, "but this house, this place, taught me that there is always room for new beginnings." Jack looked at her, a hesitant smile playing on his lips. "You are a remarkable woman, Amelia," he said. "Your courage to start over is inspiring." In that moment, something changed between them. A spark of possibility, a silent promise of something more. As summer gave way to autumn, Amelia and Jack continued their quest to uncover the secrets of the house. Every letter they read, every story they discovered, seemed to echo in some way in their own lives. It was during a rainy October afternoon that they finally put all the pieces together. The letters told the story of Elizabeth, the daughter of a wealthy family, and Thomas, a local fisherman. Their love, forbidden by their families, had blossomed in secret within the walls of that house. "They planned to run away," Amelia said, her voice choked with emotion as she read the last letter. "But something went wrong." Jack nodded somberly. "The story my grandmother used to tell? Elizabeth fell ill shortly before the planned escape. She died before they could fulfill their dream." Amelia felt tears welling up in her eyes. The tragedy of that lost love touched her deeply. She thought of Robert, of the chances they never had, of the years that were stolen from them. "It's such a sad story," she murmured. Jack moved closer, wrapping her in a comforting embrace. "But it's also a story of true love," he said softly. "A love that defied all odds, even if just for a brief moment." In that moment, embraced by Jack, Amelia felt something awaken inside her, a feeling that had long been dormant, buried under layers of grief and resignation. The following weeks brought a new dynamic to Amelia and Jack's relationship. There were lingering glances, casual touches that made their hearts race, and conversations that stretched late into the night. Amelia found herself thinking of Jack more and more frequently. She admired his kindness, his quiet strength, the way his skilled hands brought beauty back to long-forgotten objects. Jack, in turn, found himself constantly amazed by Amelia's vitality, her relentless curiosity, and the way she embraced each new day with renewed enthusiasm. One night, as they shared a bottle of wine on the porch watching the stars over the ocean, Jack turned to Amelia with a serious expression. "Amelia," he began, his voice trembling with nervousness, "these past few months working with you, getting to know you, have been the happiest I've had in a long time." Amelia's heart raced. She looked into Jack's eyes, seeing in them a reflection of her own feelings. "Jack, Before she could continue, Jack gently placed a finger on her lips. "Please let me finish," he said softly. "I know we both carry scars from the past, that we have fears and doubts. But being with you made me realize that maybe there is still room in our lives for a new chapter. Amelia felt tears forming in her eyes. All her life since Robert's death, she had convinced herself that her time for love had passed, that at 65 it was too late for a new romantic beginning. But there, on that porch, with the sound of the waves in the background and the stars shining above, she felt the walls she had built around her heart begin to crumble. "Oh, Jack," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "I never imagined that I could feel this again." Jack smiled, his eyes shining with a mix of hope and vulnerability. Slowly he leaned forward, giving Amelia time to pull back if she wished. But she did not. Instead, she closed the distance between them, their lips meeting in a soft and tender kiss. When they parted, both chuckled softly, a bit embarrassed, but happy. It was a new beginning for both, an unexpected but welcome chapter in their lives. In the months that followed, Amelia and Jack carefully navigated their new relationship. They cherished every moment together, whether working on the house, exploring the city, or simply enjoying each other's company. The house, once a symbol of loneliness and abandonment, now pulsed with new life and love. One day, while they were arranging the final details for a small housewarming party for the restored house, Amelia found Jack standing in the library, thoughtfully looking at Elizabeth and Thomas's letters. "What are you thinking about?" she asked, approaching him. Jack smiled, pulling her close. "I was thinking about how their story brought us here, how their love, even though tragic, somehow paved the way for ours." Amelia nodded, perfectly understanding. "They taught us that love is worth it, no matter the age or circumstances. And that it is never too late for a new beginning," added Jack, hugging her gently. That night, as the house filled with friends and neighbours celebrating its restoration, Amelia looked around with a heart full of gratitude. The old house that no one wanted to buy had become her home, her refuge, and the setting for her unexpected new chapter in life. She thought of Elizabeth and Thomas, of Robert, of all the people and experiences that had led her to that moment. Every loss, every challenge, every moment of loneliness had paved the way for this new happiness. When Jack joined her, intertwining his fingers with hers, Amelia knew for sure. It is never too late to rediscover the beauty of life, to open oneself to new possibilities, and above all, to allow oneself to love again. The old house by the sea, once a symbol of abandonment and mystery, was now full of life, love, and promises of a bright future. And Amelia, at 65 years old, was ready to embrace every moment of this new adventure, with Jack by her side and an open heart for all the wonders yet to come. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a comment with a rating from 1 to 5 to show how much you liked it. Also, watch the video that is now appearing on your screen. See you soon.